tell you that the game offers many life lessons and metaphors. Our speaker's choices and how he lives his life embodies many of these lessons. We're very proud to welcome Casey to share his inspirational story with us tonight. Just over 8 years ago, Casey suffered a traumatic brain injury in a tragic car accident. Since then, through his determination to succeed, a positive attitude, humor, and the love of life, and I think I heard golf, he has made amazing progress in his recovery. As Casey says, it has been a long road, but at least I'm on it. Casey has received services through Lakes Region Community Services since his accident, and with much support from his mother, I don't know that that could even be emphasized enough, from his mother, Patty Burlingame, he manages his own services using the self-directed services option model. So joining Casey here tonight is his mother, Patty. Also, he has brought with him his PSU professor, Marianne True, who has assisted Casey with his presentation, and LRCS resource coordinator, Dennis Breton, who helps coordinate services for Casey. So please join me in warmly welcoming Casey.
I thought before this I wasn't going to be nervous, but when I step up here, I'm so nervous.
You got it.
Can't tell. You're looking fine.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to speak to you about traumatic brain injuries, or TBIs. Before I begin, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Lakes Region Community Services. My family and I would have been lost if it wasn't for LRCS after the accident. A TBI is defined as a blow to the brain that disrupts the brain's function. My brain injury, which was a result of a car accident, was considered a serious level. Because the brain injury was to the right side of my brain, the left side of my body was affected. If one suffers a left brain injury, the right side of their body will be affected. There are over 1.4 million traumatic brain injuries each year in the United States alone, and of those, 52,000 people die. Most brain injuries are caused by car, motorcycle accidents, or falls. TBIs are coming to the forefront because of the many soldiers injured during battle. A TBI causes functional changes such as memory loss, thinking, emotions, as well as seizures or epilepsy. In February 2007, I had passed the player ability test to become a USPGA golf professional. I was living my dream of becoming a professional golfer, golfing in the spring and summer, and snowboarding in the winter months. On December 17, 2008, my mom received the call all parents dread. I had been the passenger in a fatal car crash, killing my best friend, injuring another, and I was also pronounced dead on the scene. Luckily, an astute EMT gave me another look, and I was rushed to Dartmouth-Hitchcock Medical Center. I was operated on to remove part of my skull to relieve the swelling on my brain. My mom was told that I would live 48 hours at best, and that if I did live, I would be brain dead. I remained in a coma for 2 months and had to learn to eat, talk, and walk again. It was going to be a long road, and no one could tell us how far I might come. The diagram on the bottom right is the positioning of my brain during the coma. Within 2 months, it had righted itself. I was also blind in one eye, but that was fixed with surgery a few months later. I stayed in a semi-comatose state for another 3 months in a rehabilitation facility. Here's where the real work began. Before I go on, let me explain. Even 10 to 15 years ago, it was thought that TBI patients, after a year or so, TBI patients were as good as they were going to get. The new theory is that with repetitive practice, the brain will relearn how to do tasks, but it is work. Missed a page. The picture on the left is showing that I have no facial expression. All muscles must reconnect to the brain, including raising of the eyebrows or smiling. The right picture shows my legs being casted. Because I was in bed in a coma for months, I developed drop foot, and my left leg had to be casted. My arm was stuck like this and had to be casted in a series for 2 to 3 weeks to get it back to where it belongs. This is all before I could begin to try to walk again. I am a college graduate and have done plenty of homework in my day, but nothing compared to what I had to go through to get my life back. Here you will see that I am wearing a helmet. Because part of my skull was removed, my brain had to be protected by a helmet, just in case I fell, which I did. I'm working with a therapist on brain exercises in this picture. In this exercise, I was given a sheet with the alphabet mixed up, and my task was to connect the letters in order to teach me visual recognition and sequencing. As you can see, I had no trouble connecting the letters on the right side of the paper, but my brain could not recognize the left. That wasn't me. The therapist said to me over and over again, "Left, Casey, left." After months of this daily, I began to improve. On the right, the therapist asked me to draw a clock. As you can see, I had all the numbers correct and the time, but my brain did not recognize the left. In my mind, I had done well. Only 8 weeks later, with practice, my clock was correct. My brain was beginning to heal. When I began the brain exercise, I had deficits of 10 to 65% in many areas of executive functioning. Now my deficits are minimal and most up to 100%. But remember, it took years. You may have noticed my facial expressions in earlier slides. I had no affect at all. No smiling, voice intonations, nothing. These cards were my exercises. The therapist would give me a card and a mirror. I would stare at the card and then in the mirror have to reproduce the facial expression. I had to learn to raise my eyebrows, smile or frown, and try to waken up all the muscles in my face. And I did. This is an intricate machine I used to reawaken my left hand. It was closed like this, and my fingers did not function at all. When I began to walk again, it took 3 PTs, one to hold my torso and one on each leg. This machine, which was very uncomfortable as you can imagine, reproduced the motion of walking, again to remind the brain, oh yeah, this is how you do it. My balance was destroyed and measured at only 11%, but with work, it has returned to almost 100%. Learning to eat again was awful. The muscles that control swallowing had to be awakened. Every day, my mom would take a long Q-tip, shove it down my throat, so I would gag and try to wake up the swallowing reflex. I had to eat everything pureed. Have you ever had a pureed hot dog or pancakes? Trust me, it's not good. After 3 months, I was allowed to eat solid food again, and I haven't stopped since. As many of you might have witnessed in the buffet before this. My mom had to tell me to stop eating. It was bad. She's like, we're going out to eat after this. So why don't you stop eating? It's like, don't worry, Mom, I can eat plenty. People often ask me how I've gotten through the last 8 years. Walking machines, pureed food, hundreds of exercises, practicing things over and over again. Well, as in golf, I had to play the ball where it lies, so I kept my head down and stayed determined. I realized early on that the only way to get better was to work hard and stay positive. And I did. This is a picture of me golfing before the accident. When I came out of the coma and saw my arm like this, I was devastated to think I might not golf again. My mom took me to an adaptive golf clinic, and when I laid my eyes on the adaptive golf cart to help, I was filled with hope. At the Owl's Nest Golf Club, where I am the assistant golf professional, the people there joined together for a fundraiser to help me buy my own cart. This cart helped me get back on the course. For 2 years, I played with only one arm. And although I may not be the golfer I once was, I play well and enjoy every round. I now play with 2 hands. New England Disabled Sports has helped me as a student get back on the slopes in the winter, and through NEDS, I also found that I can teach golf again. My life took a turn, but I decided that even with my TBI, I could still help others. With the help of NEDS, I organized an adaptive golf clinic for people of all disabilities. My students range from children with emotional and physical disabilities to stroke victims and other TBIs and wounded warriors. My friend Ron is here watching me. I really appreciate you coming around, Ron and Amy. Yeah. I really enjoy working with people who have different needs. I am now working with a wounded warrior who is going to enter his first golf tournament in the spring under my tutelage. I am very proud of the work I do. I am making a difference in other people's lives. Today I enjoy golfing and riding like I used to, and I love every day. I would be happy to answer any questions you may have while we download the recent WMUR piece about the work I love.
At the Owl's Nest Golf Club in Thornton, Wednesdays are special. An adaptive golf clinic gives people living with various disabilities a chance to get out on the links.
This is about our 5th or 6th year doing it. It's incredible. I get so much out of it because these people are just great.
Owl's Nest assistant pro Christensen, known to everyone as KC, founded the clinic. He passed the PGA player ability test in 2008, but not long after, he was in a near-fatal car accident. Through perseverance, he reclaimed the ability to walk and relearned his favorite sport.
I played golf one-handed for 2 years, and the balance mostly, so I had to lean up against the cart, because with a traumatic brain injury, your balance is affected.
The clinic welcomes all ages, all abilities, and all skill levels. Kenyon Tuthill was a police officer in New York who lost his eyesight when he was wounded in the line of duty.
Yeah, that was it.
When you hit it good and square, you get the click instead of the clunk. You know, it's just, you know you hit a good one.
While golf is the name of the game here, the Adaptive Clinic is as much about outlook and attitude as it is learning the game. While the PGA Tour is no longer on the beautiful North Country horizon for KC, that's not going to stop him from doing the best he possibly can and bringing out the best in others.
That's what it is. Like, that's how I got better. Just from my attitude and being positive and just staying positive.
In Thornton, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.